tidal planning for sea kayaking trips can be done in various different ways. My system involves a little book which I buy in Dartmouth, which gives me times for Dartmouth, and I have the photocopied sheets you can see from Mike Fennessy's excellent book, which gives the tidal flows for the coast down here. The book is adjusted for British summertime, so I can't make the mistake of ending up with tides that are 1 hour out because of that very common mistake. And the first thing I'm going to do is to say, let's take a day. Saturday the 28th of July is the one I'm going to go for. I look up in my little book, find the appropriate page, and I look down and I get the times of high water. Not interested at the moment in the times of low water, just the times of high water. And I'll write those down on the spare bit of working area on the sheets that I've prepared. Now I've got to adjust it to high water Plymouth. How am I going to do that? Well, in the first instance I will use the information in the beginning of this little book. It says that if you deduct 33 minutes from the high water time in Dartmouth, you should get the high water time in Plymouth. But that's on average, and there may be some variation in reality, but it'll give me a feel for it. I do that, and because I'm a cautious person, I try and check it online as much as I can. Now, the UK Hydrographic Office website is no longer able to be used for free to look up tides 6 months ahead. I had a look around and online. I managed to find a diver's website which gave tides in Plymouth for this particular day. It's quite a difference. So I have to make a decision, and I decided perhaps also to round it off a little bit. I'm after a guide, so I decided on 7 AM and 7:20 PM. And the first thing I do then is to put that on the one box that is labelled HW, high water, and that is the key to Mr. Fennessy's system. You then work your way from there back up using the 7:20 PM, and that gives you all the afternoon times, and you work forwards from the 7 AM one, and that gives you all the morning ones. So, what's this information useful for? Well, I could leave Brixham at 10 AM, I'd round Berry Head when it's slack, I'd have the tide with me all the way. But I might get wind over tide if there was a strong southwesterly wind that day. These are spring tides. The 4.7 metre tide in Dartmouth is a spring tide. So there is that risk, and to be perfectly honest with you, when I'm planning longer sea kayak trips around the coast, I'm always preferring to choose neap tides rather than spring tides because it minimises the risk. Wind over tide means big waves and unhappy paddlers. So my advice is stick to neap tides.